Okay, we are good to go. All right. All right. All right, everybody, we're good to go. Everybody should be good to go. All right, guys, we're good from now on. Okay, we're good to go. All right, everybody's here. Okay, cool, guys. All right, so hit me with the questions. We're gonna rock out with this, guys. Like, really, let's get into this. Sorry for the hiccups. I put this on here. We're good to go. I took the VPN off, which caused the internet to it kill switches it. I took that off so I could be with you, make sure everything's smooth running. We are good to go. Let's do this. Okay, guys. So first of all, I'm glad everybody's here. Thank you for bearing with me. It looked like there was a Zoom and then no, but we're cool here. I know this is very easily set up, so we're good. So going on, all of our live streams will be this way. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be recorded, so you can always come back to it. But I'd love to hear your questions. So we're good now. Everybody's here. Love to have it. Okay, so one of the questions, some that I believe it was, let me see. Tang asked me is what about range lows? Okay, so all you have to do and when you're looking at range lows is look at the chart. Okay, and when you look at the chart, when you look at a chart, you won't you and you don't need anything fancy. So if you're on Trading View, you can go on to Trading View. You don't need to be on Trading View to find a range low. What you want to look at is Trading View does help if the coin has not been listed there for a long time because it won't have the history of the coin. But if you look at Axelar, okay, this is a big one here. I just know Axelar like the back of my hand, just like I do all of my cryptocurrency. So rule number one, know your cryptocurrency. You need to know your cryptocurrency if you expect to get returns, and you need to understand how that cryptocurrency moves, how it operates, what it runs with. Let me tell you guys something. Axelar is one of the top runners. Each altcoin rally we had, Axelar was a top runner. Every time money shifted into altcoins, Axelar was one of the top performers, had 40% days consistently day on day. Axelar was a top runner. We had like a 3 day, what we call altcoin rally, and that's where we kind of touch altcoin season, but immediately just go back to Bitcoin season. And so during that time, Axelar and Wormhole ran in tandem. You have to sometimes you have to remember that, or you can talk to a group or talk to me, and so these are things I'm always watching out for in the market. Now, some of the coins that's coins, tokens, cryptocurrencies, whether you got your meme coins to your infrastructure plays, I believe this cycle is going to be super focused on DeFi, decentralized finance, and infrastructure plays, okay, and layer ones. And in the order that I put them is DeFi, infrastructure, and DeFi. I think DeFi is going to have a nice run. I think infrastructure is going to be the backbone, and I think layer ones are definitely going to perform this cycle. Those are my three solid bets. And I'm also never do I doubt a cryptocurrency. Like, I have a large position in TARS AI, but oh wow, I mean, many of us got that wrong that have been in for many years. I mean, TARS AI looked very good. But one thing I did is I did not overexpose myself to TARS AI. The reason being is I sat there and I thought for myself. I didn't follow people. And so when you follow someone, you want to make sure that they think for themselves, that they know what they're doing, right? Because if you had followed everybody on YouTube and they had 500,000 followers or 200,000 followers, you would have said, oh, AI is, I need to put all my money in the AI. If you had done that, all of your money would have been washed. Literally, Spec AI, which was a big one, everybody was like, man, Spectral is going to do something ridiculous. It's machine learning. It was backed by Polychain. Horrible tokenomics, by the way. I mean, it really had a really low supply. It was like $16. It's at 40 cents. Okay. It was a horrible, I mean, if you look at DAI, Zero One Labs, it was the first AI agent platform on Ethereum. It still didn't run with Ethereum. It was over $1. Now it struggles to stay at 5 and 6 cents. Great cryptocurrency project, but AI has just not captured what DeFi and the infrastructure plays are. When we're talking about integrating Coinbase with JP Morgan, you're talking about Axelar. Axelar just got a deal with Danal, Danal. They are going to be South Korea's first stablecoin interop partner. And South Korea is one of the most advanced cryptocurrency, or not just cryptocurrency, but digital asset compute. South Korea is one of the most digitally advanced societies that exists today, and so they've chosen Axelar to lead their stablecoin interop. So that's a huge deal. It also corresponds with why when South Korea's exchange opened, Axelar was one of the top three cryptocurrency purchased. It looks like there was some insider information there, right? Because Axelar was the third most purchased cryptocurrency on South Korea's exchange. Come to find out months later, Danal partners for Korea's South Korea stablecoin with Axelar. So I'm looking at infrastructure plays. Hit me with some questions, guys, because today's about you. I want to answer as many questions as I can. But what I'm going to go through here, guys, is not just a few cryptocurrencies. I'm going to go into what I want to find in a cryptocurrency. And today is going to be about what can you do when you're looking at a cryptocurrency to say, is this cryptocurrency a solid pick? Is it a so-so? Where do you rank them? So one, I'm going to go into the funds and backers. So first I'm going to go into fundraising. I'm going to look in fundraising. And in fundraising, I realized that just recently $30 million was put into Axelar. And also, Axelar, like I said, has an ETF filing right now with the SEC. Look at how much $143 million was raised into Axelar. Guys, this is what I'm looking for. $150 million was invested to Axelar, and recently Axelar's price has really been stagnant, and 30 million was just invested a few months ago into Axelar, and it has an ETF filing. So then I go down to tokenomics in the overview and say, okay, but what about the tokenomics? Well, the tokenomics are actually pretty good. What you see here with the 213 million here is just inflation from staking. So any proof of stake blockchain is going to have some inflation. Now, when Axelar rolled out with its token burning mechanism, the Cobalt upgrade, it burns Axelar tokens, so in turn make it deflationary. So that's just one thing I'm looking at. And like I said, I'm looking at this. So when you look at the fundraising real quick, and then we're going to jump on to a few others, they paid a dollar. Okay. We are, if you look at the range low for Axelar, it's 27 cents. Okay. So it's 27 cents for Axelar, and they paid a dollar. And I'm going to give you guys some crazy stuff. You're not going to believe this. They paid a dollar for each share of Axelar. So they paid $50 million and got 50 million shares of Axelar at a dollar. Okay. So that goes to show you, look at the value in Axelar. That just screams to me like that's bold. So you're telling me that some of these other coins ICO'd at 0.002 cents, like fractions of a penny for each share, and Axelar you had to pay a dollar a share. Even seed B investors paid a dollar a share. So it's absolutely one that just screams at you 35 million, 50 million, 80K. Okay. So those are a couple things I'm looking for. But let's go over here and look down the risk ladder. So today I also wanted to talk about where I'm at in the market. So guys, the reason why I'm positioned where I'm at in the market, right, is so Zeus is already going up a little bit. The reason why I like Zeus, okay, is first of all, its fundraising is actually pretty good, okay, for being a fairly new cryptocurrency. And I tell people try to avoid extremely new cryptocurrencies late in the bull run, okay? You want to avoid those late cryptocurrencies. So like say something comes out tomorrow, it is late in the bull run. It's, you need to check to see if that cryptocurrency, the vesting schedule, a lot of things. So like I'm not really interested in new coins at this point, right? Unless they're meme coins, okay? I'm not really interested in them. When I looked at Zeus, these are some of the things that popped my eye. It has a good amount of funding. 40 million's not a joke, guys. Like when you look at that and you're like 40 million, okay. It's got good utility. As far as the markets go, it's fairly well. It's got some exposure across some tier one exchanges, Kraken, Gate, OKX. So it's got some good exposure in the markets. And I absolutely believe that it'll definitely have some more listings here in the future. And so those are just a few that we've recently looked at, right? Now you can go here and look at on cryptorank.io. You can sign up for free. You can upgrade to if you'd like, but I would suggest possibly just using the free, just sign up for free because you can access their vesting schedules, everything. Um, and you can do that for free. But a couple of the things that I'm looking at right now in the market is so I've been in here a long time, and the few things that I notice now, okay, is do I believe Bitcoin's going to 10x from here? Probably not, right? Okay, so the next step is do I think Ethereum's gonna 5 to 10x from here? Probably not. Okay, so do I believe Solana will do fairly well? I think Solana is going to be the next runner. I think Solana will make a new all-time high. If I would, have to guess, I think Solana is going to do fairly well in infrastructure picks via Solana, and other infrastructure picks are really going to run hard, especially during an altcoin season. In some of the other videos, I'm going to be discussing, the macro and where we're at. But for right now, this is what I do when I look at coins. I want to look at how many they have in circulation, the trading volume. The trading volume on Zeus is not horrible, but remember, it takes one green candle to change that. Zeus is what I call lower down the risk curve. So look at this, guys. With Zeus, it is at a $62 million market cap. So, guys, this one can literally absolute moonshot at a $500 million market cap. You almost got a 10x. So, this one has a lot more upside potential with a lot of good backing. That's what I'm looking for in projects at this point. Now, I know you guys have heard from me talk about Aerodrome. If you look at this chart, guys, it's pretty bottomed out. Some of the range lows for Zeus are where we're at now, guys. So why do you guys look at some of these highs? So you know during December and that January pump, Zeus was at $1. Okay, so like right now the chart's pretty bottomed out, right? So I mean you can see like kind of the range lows for Zeus were around 10 cents where I called the initial call on Zeus. Zeus's tokenomics are pretty good. It has some unlocks, but the unlocks are nothing to be worried about. They're unlocking less than 1 million tokens, right? They only have 1 billion circulating, 426 million in supply. Very great cryptocurrency. It has a lot more upside than it does down. So at this point in the market, I am not going crazy and spreading myself too thin. Okay. So a lot of times you have leverage traders and you have position traders. Okay, you have spot traders, you have day traders. For me, I do a combination of spot and I do a combination with spot and position trading. I do a combination of leverage. One thing that can help you with leverage, right? For those that really love leverage, for me, I use leverage sparingly. The reason being is I love to conserve capital. So that is one of the most important things to me is preserving capital. Now, one thing that will help you understand not just looking at FEGs or looking at a chart is also finding range lows. So if you can look at the charts and say, okay, Zeus never went below 10 cents, right? Or, it really just touched that 10-cent line, right? So if you had a liquidation well below 10 cents, right? Hypothetically, you would be setting yourself up, right? Unless, hey, the market came crashing down tomorrow, nothing's financial advice, but you can look and see where have these cryptocurrencies going at their lowest point, and you can enter low leverage longs accordingly. This is where some of the money is made in leverage, especially when we get a full rotation into altcoins. Being able to position yourself early does help. Okay, so going on into some other cryptocurrencies. And so let me see. I'm going to ask everyone bring some questions because I wanted this for you guys to. This may not be the best time for everybody, so I'm going to be doing more of these with everybody. So Aerodrome Finance is interesting, and I want to talk about Aerodrome Finance. It's worked its way into the top 100 here. Base ecosystem. Hey, what's up, Black Hole, man? Hey, man, glad to have you here. Shoot with some questions, man. I want you guys to be interactive. I have so much to share with you guys, and I just would love for you guys to ask anything you want about your cryptocurrency. It does not have to be in my portfolio. All the ones that you guys have mentioned, I have already looked into, so I can give feedback on them. So if the early investors had bought Zeus at 57 cents and the top hit close to $1, could they have sold? Is that something that you might put out there? That's what we need to look into, and that's exactly what I'm going to get into. Um, uh, yes, got you first because you did ask. Okay, so what are some of the red flags? I got you. Okay. Yes. You don't have to ask one more time. I'm going to answer right now. Okay. Have you ever heard? I'm not going to go into like Rug Doctor, but you can look at Rug Doctor if you're. Yes, I'm going to go into all of it right now. Okay. So one is for me nowadays a red flag is mantra. Okay, it's not necessarily tokenomics. Okay, it's not necessarily where they deployed their cryptocurrency because remember, I can deploy a coin on base. It doesn't mean it'll be a good cryptocurrency. I can deploy a cryptocurrency on the BNB chain. That is not necessarily your telltale of what are some red flags? Red flags to me are, for me, Twitter is a must. So X, you can call it Twitter. I've been around for a while. I call it Twitter. You can call it X. If you look, are they backing up what they're saying? Okay. Like if you look at the project, does it have a lot of promises, but it's not really doing anything? Okay. So for instance, if you go into, let's go into 01 Labs. So it fell way out. Listen, it's 5 cents here. This thing was over $1. It was all the rage. It went down with all the layer ones. And so it's a development providing an ecosystem of over 20 multi-model tools. It enables simple creation and integration of decentralized AI applications through a permissionless marketplace. A lot of these AI coins say the same thing. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at 01 Labs. You know what? I'm going to look at Mantra. Okay, so this was a red flag to me. So people ask me, why didn't I invest in Mantra? Here's one. Um, so yeah, sounds like a bunch of fluff. Exactly. That is exactly it. You like sounds like a bunch of like, okay, but what are you actually doing? And we're going to get into that. So if you look at some of these coins, it's like, what are they doing? Right? Mantra was one of those. Look at this chart, guys. Come on, guys. Look at this chart. Look at this chart, guys. Look at that rug pull. Look at that. Look at that. Straight to the bottom. So it wasn't the tokenomics, right? The tokenomics didn't look bad, right? And so, it was on Ethereum. So you're like, oh, so Ethereum's not so cheap to deploy on. It had some backers. Look at this. Um, it had some backers here, but yes, a lot of fluff behind it. It's not really doing anything. These are some other things, but if the cryptocurrency is not actually doing what they say. So for number one is what I do is monitor Twitter. Let me put the list out there. Monitor Twitter. Okay. If you don't like Twitter, I understand there's other ways to monitor, but if you're looking for the cryptocurrency, are they actively building or are they giving you dreams? Are they telling you what they will do? I'm going to give you an example of one right here. Relio Network. Okay. So let's go to Relio Network. Okay. So you mentioned tokenomics a lot. What makes tokenomics good? Okay. I will absolutely go into that. Yeah, that's very important. So guys, let's look at this. So this is what I want to talk about fluff. So Relio Network had came out and you guys heard there was that huge wave for Relio Network. Okay, so for Relio Network, it never caught my eye because as soon as I looked at it, it looked like a bunch of fluff. Okay, not to mean you can't make money with a bunch of fluff. Okay, but or a bunch of hey, we're going to do, hey, we will do, hey, this and that. Look at their platform and interoperable. See, everybody, that guys, why do you think I have us positioned in interoperability? Okay, interoperability will be the future because if you cannot have connection, you do not have a full ecosystem. But it says here an interoperable layer one multi-chain Web3 ecosystem focused on the issuance and management of digitally native real world assets. Purpose built and designed for a new open source permissionless financial world. It has a $20 million market cap. What is it doing? Where are the partnerships? What is it doing? How can I what can I do here? Explore investment platform. Um so you're looking at what are they doing? Like there's nothing here. It's all fluff, right? Like shop, what am I going to do? What am I shopping for? But this is what I'm looking for. But I'll go into the tokenomics. So one thing that is red flags you guys can also use like Rug Doctor you can look to make sure let me see. Uh so let me see. Okay, so all right. So tokenomics. Let's go into tokenomics. Okay. So, or what are healthy tokenomics? And I don't want to skip anybody. Thoughts on Pingu seems to be delivering the real world engagement. Yes, I do. I will answer both of these. So for me, guys, at this point of the cycle, healthy tokenomics to me is this is vesting schedule. I'm going to bring up one for you guys to know. You guys know I posted about Tia Celestia more than a few times, right? This is one of the things. Look at the backers. It has amazing backers. Okay. This is what I want to get into. I think this will be more than valuable to you, really. Um, this is really something to kind of take in. Look at the run that I caught Tia on earlier in the cycle. Look at this. These are actually all greens. It went up to 20. Actually, it went up to 22, right? Yeah, about $21. It literally just straight up. I mean, sure, it had some dips, but I mean, literally, it had multiple months, three months of just straight up, right? But look at where Celestia is now. It is bottomed out, and this has to do with tokenomics. So I'm going to talk about that. Okay. So look at what Tia did, and that doesn't mean the chart is bottomed out here. Okay, and that's what I mentioned to you. I'm looking for bottomed out charts. But look at the supply. So the supply is not horrible with Celestia at this point. But this is what I'm looking for. It has just a little over a billion tokens. It does not take too much money to move a billion tokens. Okay. What I prefer for my altcoins is around 1 billion to 5 billion max. Now, the only exceptions to that I will make are a few. Okay, I did not buy Cardano this cycle. I did, but I got out pretty early. Um, Cardano, Hedera, Caspa is about 27 billion. So it takes more money, more capital to move the cryptocurrency. Now, in a bull run, a lot of times you will see rotations. Things just don't stay parked in one vehicle. So it doesn't take as much capital to move a coin with around a billion. Right. This is just a little over a billion. It's almost the same tokenomics as Axelar. It's got about 761 tokens 761 million tokens in circulation. But watch this. Watch this. This is what was the thing with this. So I want you guys to look here. Okay. This is going to help you always identify tokenomics. Then we're going to go into Pingu. For tokenomics, look at this. Initial core got 17% of the tokens. Series A and B investors got 20%. Research and development got 27%. Future initiatives got 13%. Genesis drop got about 7%. So very, very low for the community. So if you look at this, the tokenomics, look at this right here. So if you look here where we got the dates, so today, this is why you got to be careful with tokenomics. So today they're releasing 745 million. Let's see, how much are they unlocking here? Let's see, 1.62 million tokens today. Okay. So remember, if supply meets demand, it is okay. But look, you have to look at this. Look at this. Every day on Celestia, they are releasing 1.62 million tokens every day. September 1st, September 2nd, 1.62 million. September 3rd, another 1.62 million. So they are consistently, but look who they're releasing it to. They're releasing it to their core. They're releasing it to their research development. They're releasing it to their Series A and B investors. They're releasing it to their core contributors, to their seed investors. So these are unlocks that the team can unload on you. One thing that I stress about tokenomics and strong tokenomics is that you don't want to get into a coin where investors are looking to offload their capital on you later on in the bull run. Okay. That is something you do not want. Right. So we see with Celestia, there's an unlock every day. Now, does that mean Celestia won't do good? No. No, that does not mean it will not do good. Healthy tokenomics mean is generally a large portion of the tokens are in circulation. Um, yes, a large portion of the tokens are in circulation. And also, when I say tokenomics, I want you guys to hear one thing. For me, it may mean one thing. To another person, it's going to mean, maybe that's been in crypto, mean the same thing. But for me, personally, I do not like to get into cryptocurrencies with high amounts of tokens in circulation. Why? Because 50 billion tokens takes a lot of money to move. So let's jump off Celestia. That does not mean Celestia will not do well from here. That does not mean it won't do well. Why? Because it only has a little over a billion in circulation. Apparently, there's some partnerships coming up for it. It should do pretty well, right? And overall, even with the dilution of 1.62 million over the course of many days, like I said, there's only a total of 1 billion in circulation. So as long as the demand keeps up, Celestia can be a very good play. But I'm going to bring you to one here, Hedera. Okay. Hedera is one that if you look here, look at this is what I call bad tokenomics. I needed to give you an example of bad, right? Okay. So look at this. 50 billion tokens, and out of that 42 billion are in circulation. So it's going to take a lot more capital to move that cryptocurrency. Okay, it's going to take a lot more capital, and so some people don't understand that. The same thing with let's see, Cardano. Okay, if you look at Cardano, let's look at Cardano. Same thing. So 45 billion and about 36 billion are in circulation. So it's going to take a lot of money to move that price. It's going to take a lot of capital. So the market cap has to correspond at the same time to the capital inflow. So you're going to need a lot more capital being put into Cardano or Hedera to move than you are for Aerodrome or Axelar or even Celestia, because they have that 1 billion around that floating 1 billion mark. And like if you saw Zeus, there's about 700 million tokens, or actually 420 million tokens in circulation. That is Pumpamental spelled out right there, right? It's got a $68 million market cap. It does not take a lot to move the price of that cryptocurrency at all. But Cardano, absolutely, it's going to take billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to move Cardano, Hedera, these ones with large amounts of tokens in circulation. The same thing with Caspa. You know, Caspa would probably be one of the coins of the cycle already if it had a lower supply. It has 27 billion tokens in circulation, and I think that's kind of hampered the price of Caspa, just due to how many tokens are in circulation. But I think Caspa will still do well. Now, on to Pingu. One thing I wanted to bring up, guys, is are you guys looking at this? If you guys are, hit me in the chats with this. Um, Hit me with this if you guys are. A slight dip. What's a slight dip right now? I'm not looking at everything. What are we doing? Okay, you mentioned makes perfect sense. Yeah, so I wanted to go in here um to Grayscale. Have you guys, everybody in the chat, have you guys looked at this and made sure to keep on this here? I want to check the chat to make sure, because this is about you guys, and also I have some ones that I'm going to bring up, some new ones that may be of help. Um, he was referencing the OM chart. Yeah, so OM, one of my friends, give you a background of this. He's a millionaire. He from crypto. He says, "Man, you got to get into OM." It was like a dollar at that point. I was like, "Man, what's so great about OM?" He's like, "Man, they got Dubai and they're going to tokenize real estate." I said, "But what are they doing?" And it was all talk. They weren't actually doing what they were saying. It was a bunch of, we're going to be this and that. There was not concrete work. When you look at projects like Zeus, you can look at TVL, you can look at the Bitcoin coming into the Solana ecosystem, you can look at Axelar and look at stablecoin volume, you can look at TVL. Grayscale yet. Yes. So if you haven't looked at Grayscale, let me know if anybody here has not looked into Grayscale. So Grayscale is a digital asset. You can look at it as like kind of like a brokerage for digital assets. And so you can actually invest. For me, I don't see a reason. I actually set up a meeting and talk to a guy at Grayscale. But for me, there's no reason for me to invest in Grayscale when I can invest directly in crypto myself. But say if you didn't know anything about crypto, you didn't feel comfortable, Grayscale would be a good option, maybe, right? But these are, Caspa used to be right here, guys. Just so you know, if you weren't looking at this, guys, this is crazy, right? So check this out. Under currencies that include at least one of three fundamental roles: a medium of exchange, store value, or unit of account, Caspa sat right here next to Bitcoin, Zcash, Litecoin, Stellar, and XRP and Bitcoin. Caspa sat right here under assets under consideration. They took Caspa down. Don't know why. Caspa's only improved, but they took Caspa down. Don't know why, guys. You can look it up for yourself. They took Caspa down. It was there for months. Guess what they did? They took it off, then they put it back on. I monitored all this for you guys. So I am all the time, just so you guys know, I am not some stage superstar where I get on and I'm some actor here. So just so you guys know, I do my work usually behind a screen, right? So I'm not some, person to come on here and do a bunch of YouTube videos. But I will tell you is this list right here, and I'm going to show you something, and you're going to like this for Pingu because I'm going to lead this into Pingu. So look at this, guys. So what it says, so for smart contract platforms, what is Grayscale Research looking at? They're looking at Aptos, they're looking at Arbitrium, they're looking at Mantle. I remember I talked about Mantle, Monad. So that is another one I've been kind of looking at for the group. Is Monad, Toncoin, and obviously here we've got like H bar. We know Hedera definitely has some of the crowd favorites as far as smart contracts. Cardano, I know we have some Cardano lovers, guys, but I've been in crypto for a long time. I've never used Cardano. That's pretty crazy. I've never used Cardano. I've used Sui, and Sui's new, or Sui, however you'd like to pronounce it. But if you look down the curve, look at this, guys. So Aave, we know Aave is here to stay, guys. Let's not fool ourselves. It's the top DeFi platform. It's got a loop. I believe with World Liberty 5, if I'm not mistaken. It's Curve DAO, stable coins. Ondo Finance got officially added. Okay, Ondo Finance is officially in the Grayscale suite. It used to be over here, but look at their first one right here, guys. Aerodrome Finance. There you go. So Aerodrome Finance is right there, guys. They're number one. Right there. Aerodrome Finance is one of their top ones that they're looking at to add. And look, guys, look at our portfolio. Aerodrome, Hyperliquid, right? Look right there. Two of ours right there. Aerodrome, Hyperliquid. Now, look at this, guys. So this is the attention economy. Now, this is why I bet on Cookie. You guys are like, well, what about Cookie? Because you talked about Cookie. Okay, I'll tell you why. Cookie's got great I know. B&B is kind of like a wash farm to me. It's like they literally liquidate everybody and throw it into B&B. So it might be safe that way, but like not a financial advice, guys, but just like, that's kind of what they do. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts, Shine and Kayla. Um Sui in a French accent, as Becker say, sweet. Yeah, or how can you say it? I think we got to hear your voice to get it right. Um what is an average for total volume versus circulating supply to see? Zora has 10 billion supply, 3.1 billion release, 224th. What could that do to a crypto? So, guys, absolutely. So, this is something to watch out for. So, see McGinney right here, put on here. Okay, so Zora has a 10 billion supply. 3.5 billion circulating and make sure it has 1 billion release. Make sure you're not looking to the right. Make sure you're looking. We're going to double check that for you. Okay. But yes, I called this for Ondo Finance in January. Ondo Finance had a ginormous multiple billion tokens that were going to be released. And I told everybody, guys, Ondo Finance is going to take a slump from here, and it absolutely did. It was completely downhill pretty much. It had a few spikes until July. I made a post in January, said, hey, we're going to be kind of going down for a while. It did make a comeback later on. Ondo is still a strong pick. I do not have any flaws with Ondo. Ondo's circulating supply is a little bit higher than some of the ones that I would like, but I think Ondo's going to do well. I do have other choices though, but I always position myself and the group where we can go from one cryptocurrency to another. And you're not just playing hopscotch here, but you can always leave room to catch, another runner if Ondo Finance does really break the curve there. on Axel Prime Beam. I know me and Shine did a few trades. Like I know like back in the day I posted a Prime trade. And Prime, like you mentioned, Prime um is an excellent, it's Echelon Prime for those that don't know. Echelon Prime's previous high is I think 11 or $16 actually, right? Shine might be able to know this all the time. $16, I believe, off the top of my head, something around there. Prime is a very bullish swing trade for the group. Very good call. Shine, absolutely. Which are the other ones you said? 17, yeah. Yeah, 16, 17, 17. Um, so Axel, yeah, Axelar, I'm super bullish on, and at the price it's at a very good buy zone. But I just wanted to bring up a couple things here. So look at what they added here on utility. So I didn't like this, and I did like this, guys, and you guys are gonna know why I don't like this, right? They added wormhole, but guess what they also had here? They also had mantra on here. Of course, they took it out after a rug pulled, but they have wormhole here. Wormhole was exploited for $3 million. It only has GMP. It the tech stack does not even compare to Axlar. It doesn't connect half the blockchains. It doesn't have half of the institutional adoption. It doesn't have the volume. Layer zero doesn't even have the volume of Axlar. I kind of feel like Axlar is going to make it to this list. I just feel like Axlar is going to be one of those ones that can't be ignored. I mean, it's partnered with JP Morgan, it's partnered with Deutsche Bank, it's partnered with Ondo Finance, it's partnered with all the right people. I think Axlar is going to make this list. And guess what? Layer Zero does not have an ETF filing. Wormhole does not have an ETF filing. Guess what? Axlar does. But if you go here, I believe I saw Penguin, or sorry, Pingu, not Penguin, but IP is one that's like in the category of could run. Um, but there should be one on here that should be culture right here. I guess they had, I believe they did have Pingu on here at one point, but I do believe Pingu is going to do phenomenal. Sorry, I do believe they had Pingu. They could have updated it and removed Pingu. They do update this. I believe Chainlink acquired Pith, and Pith and Chainlink are kind of doing the oracles and price feeds. We got some super bullish news on Chainlink, guys, for the group. I'm watching Chainlink like a hawk, guys, for a nice swing trade as well as leverage. They got some huge news as far as government data going on chain. Yeah, it was high, man. It Prime is absolute steel right now. And like I said, as we go forward, we're going to continue looking into this. But let's go into, before you guys go, I just want to look at a couple of things. So like one, if you're looking at meme coins, go to Rug Doctor first of all to make sure you're not getting into a low cap meme coin that is associated with a dev that's done rug pulls. Um, bullish on Jasmine. That is something as a group we need to look at. Like point blank, I'm going to pull the card here and say if you're here or if you're going to watch this later, this may be important. So let's go into Jasmine. All right. So guys, Jasmine. This is what I want to look at with Jasmine. Okay. It has a low trading volume right now. Let's not worry about that too much. Let's go to the weekly. So just on here, 35 cents. That was kind of the height of let's not go to the 1 week here. I'm gonna pull some other charts up, but let's go to the daily here. And so the all-time high was in February of 2021. I am going to, so our next live, I'm going to look into this, but first, this is how we look into this. So this is what some do not like to do. And so we're going to have to dig deeper on Jasmine, because one thing I want to know on Jasmine is how many tokens were in circulation for the previous high on Jasmine. Because look, There's 50 billion in circulation right now. But how many were in circulation in February of 2021, or even the all-time high, or later on in this cycle, like say May of 2021 to November 2021? I would like to correspond the price and the amount of tokens at that point. Um, so Caspa's a great one, guys. Caspa for me personally, I think Caspa's going to do phenomenal, guys. I told you, like I've transferred a lot of crypto in my days. I've never seen anything faster than Caspa. I'm just going to be honest here. What I do not like is the price action on Caspa. Point blank being, the price action is not the best on Caspa. It is not the best. It hasn't been the best. But one thing about Caspa is I absolutely believe it's going to be a trade that I am watching like a hawk. And when we get that set up for an absolute explosion, I think it's going to have its stay. Just like Bio Protocol and some of these other ones, nobody paid attention to Bio Protocol until it had a green candle. But I do want to emphasize something, guys. A lot of the green candles you guys are seeing, you guys think you've missed the boat, but guys, we're still 80% or more down from its all-time high just in this cycle alone. And so one of the things I want to tell you guys when I'm looking for cryptocurrencies is I'm looking for cryptocurrencies that have around 1 billion to around 3 billion in circulation, maybe 4 billion. Like Sonic. Sonic is one that I've looked at. Jasmine, I am bullish on Jasmine, but one thing to take in mind with Jasmine is it does take significant capital to move Jasmine, just like Hedera, just like these other ones. So Jasmine is one of those ones that at this point with 50 billion in circulation, I'd have to calculate the market cap. Like let's go to this right here real quick for Jasmine before we move on for Jasmine. So let's go to Jasmine and let's go to like put it at Solana's market cap. Okay. That's 155x, guys. Like that's insanity. So like Jasmine would need to reach a market cap of 110 billion dollars to be $2.29. So can we say um Jasmine may not, I do not believe Jasmine is going to go pat. For me, I think a good extension of Jasmine is anywhere between 6 to 12 cents, 6 to maybe 20 odd cents this cycle. Um, I think a 6x from Jasmine to an 8x is just doable for Jasmine, and I think that's very probable for Jasmine. Is a 6 to 10x. Could do more, but it does take significant capital to move Jasmine. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, guys, a lot of the things I'm looking for in cryptocurrencies, guys, look at this real quick. Hyper. I know that some of you guys, most of you guys should have an exchange that you can buy Hyper on. I buy mine on actual Prime Beam. You're bullish on Jasmine like I am, Shine, because the thing is you're gonna leverage it. Don't play, Shine. I know you. You're. I've known you for too long. You're gonna leverage Jasmine, and that's why you're bullish on it. You're super bullish on it because Jasmine will do well, Shine. You're right. You're right. It'll do well. It'll do extremely well if you catch the right leverage. That's a money maker. I'll try to post the leverage call for that. But yeah, Jasmine. I did say to the group, I am definitely bullish on Jasmine as well. But yeah, Shine, I know you. You're gonna long it. But guys, Hyperliquid. This to me is kind of strange because the sentiment of the community is a little bearish, which is crazy for what this is doing. It's bringing in millions of revenue daily. Like if you're a business, if I asked you, hey, are you more bullish on a business bringing in 200,000 a month, or are you more bullish on a business bringing in $30 million a day, or like $30 million a week, or per se? Like you're going to be like, of course, the business bringing in $30 million. So this is the thing with hype, is the vesting schedule is not so bad, and I'm going to go into that another time. But there's about 333 million hype in circulation, and we can kind of check that on Crypto Rank, and see, as you see here, even on Crypto Rank, it won't let you go into the vesting on Jasmy, so you got to do a deeper dive on Jasmy. But if you go to Hyperliquid, Hyperliquid's already a high cap, okay, but it is one of my bets for the cycle. Lewis likes this coin a lot. For those that do stuff in the other Discord, but it doesn't have an unlock for another 90 days, guys. Hyperliquid doesn't even have another unlock, and it's only going to unlock 216,000 coins in late November. So I am like super bullish on hype, and I know a lot of traders are bullish on hype. I think hype can absolutely do phenomenal. They are doing very, very good things in the market. Jeff Yan, yeah, he's a great, great developer. I really like Hyperliquid. I trade on BitGet for Hyperliquid. But one of the things I'm looking at is not necessarily like if you want here, I'm going to show you a completely bullish tokenomic cryptocurrency before we go and some things I look for. AO's network, completely bullish buy here. Guys, if you are looking for a solid cryptocurrency right now, it's available on Kraken. I like to buy it off of Kraken now that it's available on Kraken because of it's available on Kraken, low fees. AO's network is the epitome of great tokenomics. It has 1.19 billion in supply, and all of it's in circulation. None of it is tied to any VCs. Now that doesn't mean somebody has coins, or a developer doesn't have coins, but there's no vesting schedule. Nobody needs to be paid off. There's not like, oh, we have 30% of the supply to unlock for the investors to sell. No, all the tokens are in circulation. All almost 2 billion or 1.19 billion AOs are all in circulation. This one went from a penny to $2.77. So that's a 277x, guys. So these are some of the things that can absolutely happen in a bull run. And so in the bear market, like AOS was one of my picks. I called AOS when it was 30 cents. I had made a post. I said AOS is being posted on Kraken next week. It went from 30 cents to 41 cents a day after posted on Kraken. But to end this and wrap this up, guys, I am going to be going into various things that make my trading very unique. And the reason why is I look for cryptocurrencies, number one, that have not ran. That is something different because a lot of people are going to go to the most hyped coin, the most shiniest thing on the market at that given time. For me, that is not the case. I am looking for strong fundamentals. Like, for instance, Axelar. Every day they have a new partnership. Every day they're meeting globally. Every day they're going across the world, meeting, making new partnerships, establishing new global regulations for stablecoin regulations, for stablecoin issuance, for interoperability between blockchains. JP Morgan on the Future of Wealth Management document. It's a 50-page document. You guys can look it up here. Guys, I'm just going to pull this up so you guys can look at this if you haven't read it, and I'll put a link up in the Discord. Future of Wealth Management. Okay. Sorry, here. They try to hide it from us. They don't want us to get a hold of this information. You got to research right here. Let me see. The Future of Wealth Management right here, guys. I'm going to put a link to this in the Discord right now, okay? Right now, I will put a link to this. Do you guys want a link to this? This literally goes over JP Morgan's whole blockchain plans, the future of wealth management. And if you go to page 50, they talk about how Axelar and Layer Zero are going to be key to moving their financial rails. Okay. So, like, you can go into this. So it says, how can we overcome fragmentation and interoperability? It is one of their main talking points here. So I am going to put a link here. Please read this. Education is some of the best things that you can do. Sometimes the bull run will get so busy that you're not going to have time. Maybe right now you do. I will put that in the Discord. Okay, so don't worry about that. Um, oh, super bullish. So you did read it after I talked about it? Yeah, super bullish, right? And they talk about Axelar, right? Right, Mental. They actually talk about Axelar being one of their number one interoperability solutions on page 49. Here it is. Um, so right here. Let's see. Yep, and so this is them going into it here. And so, yeah, and you can read it for yourself. I'm not going to bore you, but here it talks about layer 0, and then it talks about Axelar layer 0 there, and then it talks about Axelar right here on JP Morgan's Future of Wealth Management, guys. Look at this Provenance blockchain. You're not going to see that on any discourse, people talking about really getting into the research here. So JP Morgan's already said Axelar. They put it in paper. Guys, like that's an absolute for me. I look at that. It's got good tokenomics. It's not going to take a whole lot of capital to move that price. I'm thinking, hey, I can get a good return, and it's a good risk to reward ratio. Okay, guys, does anybody have a few questions? Also, I will be posting this because this is I was going over this, and while I was trying to prepare for everything and get everything set up smooth. I was thinking about you guys were asking me about portfolio weighting. At this point in the bull run, I am not buying large caps. You guys may say, why am I not buying large caps? Well, because I sold SUI, I sold XRP, I sold a lot of Bitcoin. Now I still have my Bitcoin in cold storage, but I took profit on some Bitcoin. I sold all my XRP at the first cycle top. No. Did I time it perfectly? No. I think I was about 15, 17 cents off from the top. I sold it over $3. My average purchase price was around 45 cents, 47 cents, something in that range. I took profits, and so I continually rotated it. So at this point of the cycle, when people are like, hey, would the optimal portfolio be like 75% large caps, 25% in low caps, or say mid caps? This is how I present this to you. And I am going to go into a detailed discussion today. And also my man for our one-on-one for meeting, I'll get to you, but absolutely, guys. Once again, I appreciate everybody being here. Another thing is throughout the cycle, I am going to continue to give you guys all the cryptocurrencies I'm looking at, whether it be DeFi, infrastructure plays, gaming. I think gaming is going to do fairly well. There is a few bullish gaming tokens, like I say, Carrot for me is a really bullish gaming token. And once again, tokenomics, vesting, and also, guys, there is another thing. It'll be too long for today's video, so I'm going to end with this. Is you want to use CryptoRank.io, right, to look at if when you go into vesting. So see, this doesn't have vesting because all the coins are in circulation, which is amazing. But if you go into another cryptocurrency, let's just say, let's go into another one that I'm bullish on, guys. Let's look at Cookie. You guys, this is why I'm bullish on Cookie, guys. So Cookie's at 12 cents, but it's got some good backers, okay? Here's the thing. It's got about 600 million out of a billion cookie tokens. And so it's got the whole attention economy, and the charts really just bottomed out here, right? I mean, like it had a low of like 7 cents, but the unlocks here. So if you look at the vesting schedule of Cookie, um okay, so see, you can look here. So you can look here, right here. So you can look at the date, and this is what I want to please drive home to you guys. Of course, I do the research for you guys. So when I put out a cryptocurrency or I put out a trade, I've looked specifically into this. But say you want to do it yourself. When you go into vesting, go into when these cryptocurrencies are unlocked. Okay. So you're going to want to look at when they're unlocked, right? And when you look at that, you're going to see, okay, so in August of 2025, most of the tokens are unlocked. And then most of the rest of the tokens are locked until the end of next year, after this year ends. So you can see, guys, most of all of this, right, has been unlocked. So the unlocks are good to go. So those cookie unlocks, I don't have to worry about them so much, right? And so if you look at some of the vesting on cookie, they have just like Celestia, right? And Celestia, I believe, will be a very, very strong runner again. They have, as long as the demand meets the supply, they're not diluting the supply by a whole lot. They have like say 100,000 that they're putting, releasing into circulation, right? On each unlock, 100,000 tokens. So, but one thing you want to watch out for, and I'm going to end with this, is that you don't want a cryptocurrency where it's the opposite, where everything is being unlocked here, because guys, we're right here and we're not ready to take profits on our cryptocurrency, right? And so because we're not ready to take profits yet, we don't want to see cryptocurrencies where all of the VCs are going to be able to dump in October, November, and December, because that means they're waiting to dump on our heads the moment that sucker comes up, right? So we want to make sure we get into good cryptocurrencies that do not have late vesting. So I do want to say this, and we're out for the day. And we're going to have more live shows. This is just a start, kind of like a warm up for the group. And then I'm going to be doing lives where the whole group comes in and shares about their portfolio, but we'll probably do that on voice. And so, anyways, you want to make sure that your cryptocurrency is not getting jammed up on the back end. So, if you're picking a cryptocurrency that has huge unlocks in October, November, December, run for the hills. Not financial advice, but run for the hills. Because if they're unlocking everything at the end of the cycle, a lot of cryptocurrencies will do that. Why? Because previous cycles have dictated psychology. Previous market cycles have said generally you're going to see a top somewhere in May. Altcoins are going to run through possibly, January, February, March, April, May. You're going to see some type of action from altcoins. You're going to see a correction and a final push up, right? And so they want to be able to off those tokens, right? And so you don't want to get into a cryptocurrency with a horrible vesting schedule where they're unlocking everything at the end of this year, especially for this cycle, because our altcoins have not ran. So we do not want to get dumped on when they do run, right? So nothing's financial advice. I appreciate everybody for being here. Does anybody have anything else before we close? I will be putting up, a few of my allocations. I'm not, like I said, I'm not allocating to large caps at this point, meaning I'm not allocating to like XRP or Cardano necessarily. I'm looking for mid caps, right? Like anywhere between 250 million to say a billion, right? And I'm looking for those. And I'm actually interested like Sonic, right? Like Sonic is a great crypto of choice here that really has not ran. And so if you look at Sonic, this is what I mean. Sonic has a Sonic virtual machine, but it also has its layer one. Now Sonic previously was Phantom. And if you look here, it has a great exchange volume, but look at the tokenomics, guys. Absolutely great tokenomics. And I just wanted to bring this up. Just absolute great tokenomics here. Charts absolutely bottomed out. Earlier in this year, I mean, absolutely was just running strong. and even stayed strong, even through this, guys. Look at this. That's when the market was just dumping and you couldn't even see Sonic go under 60 cents. And we're just sitting here. That has so much upside potential. It's not even funny, right? Like, even during the huge dump where you saw those altcoins go straight down, even Sonic stayed strong during that. So Sonic's in a great buy zone and the tokenomics are great. It's got about 3 billion in circulation, but they're all circulating. That's what I like to see. I like to see 1 billion preferably, with a good portion of those tokens circulating, or I want to see, all the tokens in circulation is even better, right? Because all those tokens are out there. But guys, I will get into posting today. I do have some meets today to meet with everybody, and talk over the Discord and everything. So look forward to talking to you guys. Does anybody have anything else before we're out? I don't think so. I think everybody's had a good one. Okay, listen, guys, everybody have a great day. And I am out. I will talk to each one of you guys soon and have a good one, okay? All right. Peace out, guys.